used to say, he'd tell us, don't ever put anything in writing you don't want to see in the goddamn front page of the state journal.
That's good feedback.
Right?
That is good feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
And very good Twitter post. You have the picture of. I was like, you're doing a great job coming up here. You need to give some lessons to some of your other media folks.
Well, then I was razzing Kreitlow, because he has a pontoon, and when I drove in, I saw that yacht. I'm like, oh, I know exactly where I'm going. Look at Kreitlow pulling in here with a yacht.
It was nice. Yeah, it was very good.
Is that just? I mean, you guys get a lot of. It just obviously must be tourists or something or maybe a few people around here.
30
can afford
seconds
that.
so we kick off the show.
People forget that we have a lot of income up depth in the area.
Nice
So there's Green Bay, and then there's the suburbs who are incredibly wealthy.
Here we go. Nice to see Aaron Rodgers back in town.
Oh, God help us all.
Here we go. Here we go.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Todd Allbaugh here in our beautiful studios, WGBW in downtown Green Bay, Wisconsin, along with our engineer-producer, Mr. Aaron Zommers, back at the world headquarters of Civic Media in downtown Madison. It is the 25th of July, Friday, TGIF. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Welcome in, everybody. Great to have you along again. Day 2 here in Green Bay. We're inside today in our great studio, Zommers, at Green Bay. Now, yesterday, we were over at beautiful Green Bay Preble High School, not too far from us. Great new addition, but it was hot, it was sultry, it was humid. Todd was sweating like a stuck pig because I was carrying all this equipment, and then the HVAC wasn't working quite right there. And I thought, well, this will be great because we'll be at the studios tomorrow. And I get in here, and apparently now there have been some changes, Zommers, if you haven't heard here at Green Bay. And the HVAC is locked. They know that they don't trust Todd to set the temperature here anymore, the folks on the 12th floor, so I can't change it, and it's baking in here as well today as well. So for the love of goodness, let's hope I don't have to remove my shirt before the end of the show today.
I can just turn off your camera if that happens.
Oh, very good. I appreciate that. I absolutely appreciate that. Look, big show today. Coming up in hour 2. Hey, by the way, it's Shark Week this week. We haven't had time to talk about that. Today's What's Worse, snakes or sharks? So we'll talk about that. Also, before the end of this hour, going to have our very own Mike Clemens, sports reporter here. Packers training camp getting underway this week, just down the road a couple of miles. Clemens will be reporting live from there just before the shareholders meeting. And boy, howdy, did he show up in style if you saw our social media posts. Our very own Pat Kreitlow gave him a ride into town on his boat. So that we'll talk about that. And State Representative Robin Vining is going to be here with a big announcement on her political future. And Representative Ahmad Rivera Wagner is going to be here right beside me very soon, talking about an important new proposal at the state capitol. But Zommers, it's 8 past the hour at 2 o'clock. It's Free Brewer Ticket Friday. Let's go.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind.
That's right, it's Free Brewer Ticket Friday. Your chance to win 4 club level seats at a Brewers game. And this isn't just any Brewers game, folks. Listen closely. We're about to give away 4 tickets to the Brewers game next Wednesday, July the 30th at 1:10 in the afternoon against the terrible Chicago Cubs. The Brewers are a game, I think, right now still ahead of the Cubbies in the NL Central, trying to stay that way. This could decide the entire NL Central race this coming series here next week at AmFam Field in Milwaukee. So rule number one, you must be able to go to this game. You cannot trade it for another game. Number two, don't be a jerk and buy these tickets and give it to somebody. You have to be able to go as a Milwaukee fan to this game on July 30th at 1:10. All right, there are club level seats, great seats, 4 of them. Here's how you win. Download the Civic Media app at the Apple or iPhone or Android device if you don't have it. Type in Civic, CIVIC Media. It'll pop up. Download that. Open up the Civic Media app. First 11 stations are the ones that our show is on. Click on one of them. Open it up. Lower right-hand corner, it says text. Open that up. And I'm going to give you the word of the show. Text this word right now before 4 o'clock to be eligible. The word is Todd. T-O-D-D. I'm not making that up. The word is Todd. My first name, T-O-D-D. Make sure you spell it with double D's. There's a joke there somewhere that really doesn't apply to me. But anyway, T-O-D-D is the word. I don't write these folks, the folks that promos, and God love them. But text the word Todd. My first name, T-O-D-D. You have to spell it correctly or the computer won't accept it and you won't be eligible. Text the word Todd, T-O-D-D, right now on the Civic Media app. You have to have until 4 o'clock to do it. Somebody's going to win free Brewer tickets at the end of the show for next week's game against the Cubs, 1:10 in the afternoon on Wednesday, July the 30th. Again, the word is Todd, T-O-D-D. We'll continue to remind you throughout the show. Brewers back underway. Pardon?
You know what the best part of this contest is?
Oh, yes. We don't have a 12th floor here in Green Bay, but back home, the lawyers on the 12th floor, yes, want to remind us that the contest is statewide. Thank you, Zommers. The Brewers back underway after a day off yesterday, back at AmFam Field. Series against the Marlins kicks off soon. Pre-game show underway at 2:35 on many of these stations. The first pitch will be thrown out at 3:10 this afternoon. Brewers against the Marlins. All right, it is 11 minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock, and sliding in like Michael Che on SNL. How cool is this? There he is. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. It's Ahmad Rivera-Wagner, state representative for the Green Bay area. Representative, once again, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, and you're here during training week, so you have the right outfits on.
I try.
It's Fridays at which we wear a Packer garb, so you fit right in. Actually,
Thank you.
You did a better job than I did.
I'm not sure about that, but I appreciate it. Got to meet you the first time last year on the campaign trail. Right. You worked in the mayor's office. You're somebody who loves Green Bay.
Absolutely.
Love that about you. You're an advocate for your part of the state. First of all, just kind of since you were on the program since then, number one, how are things in your district? Then we'll get into politics.
Well, as you know, Green Bay, Wisconsin is, according to the U.S. News and World Report, the number one place to live in the country. So it is an absolute joy to be here. We just recently hosted a very big event, the NFL Draft, which had a huge statewide economic impact. We are proud going into our season. The mayor, we're getting to our summer, so you should enjoy Bay Beach. Come hang out on our city deck where folks got rides by Pat right into the city.
Right.
So right now, one of the best times to be in Green Bay is in the summer, and we have just come off a year of just doing incredible, dynamic things, highlighting how special Green Bay really is. So you're here at the most perfect time, and it's an exciting time to be a state rep for this great city.
Well, it's really, really beautiful. I haven't been, my stepmom grew up in Green Bay for part of her life and been to Bay Beach a lot of times. I haven't been there in a while, but as I came over the bridge to go to Green Bay Preble yesterday, there it was, and I'm like, man, what a great asset for this area of the state.
And folks forget this. Our amusement park and our wildlife sanctuary are government run. So one of the things that's unique about this blue collar community is that we take care of each other, and we do it in really thoughtful, innovative ways. We own part of the stadium still, the field itself. We own our Bay Beach amusement park. We own a wildlife sanctuary. There's a way in which government does good here, and we take care of everybody. And it's still 25 cents a ticket.
Isn't that crazy?
To be able
Amazing.
to.
Great.
Right. And so there's something good about what happens when you come to Green Bay, that we find smart ways to take care of everyone. And government is actually not a bad word in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
It actually works when you listen to the people that elect you. So right?
That's actually quite, that is very helpful. And I don't live too far from here, so I'm about 3 blocks away.
That's awesome.
It's a walkable, wonderful downtown.
It is.
I live in Astor. There's like dog parks down here. We really are just a great place to live, to raise a family if that's what you're doing, to retire. We just have all these really exciting things. And we have a fantastic mayor, Mayor Eric Genrick, who has just been a champion for working people in the city.
I want to circle back that. Don't let me forget. But first of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you the big political news broke yesterday while we were in Green Bay here. Governor Tony Evers, Democrat, announced he would not seek a third term. He's going to go out on what Bill McCoshen called on this show yesterday, undefeated, right?
Absolutely, that's right.
5 statewide races,
That's right.
undefeated. As a Democrat, A, what was your reaction? And B, looking forward, what are your thoughts?
Well, I was a bit sad. I mean, to be honest, the governor has been so good to Green Bay. We talked about some of these major efforts in the city, the NFL draft. He helped make sure we secure funding for that. We have, you probably saw them on your way in, we have these giant coal piles downtown. He helped us secure funding to actually move those coal piles for the first time in 125 years. That kind of responsive, thoughtful government that actually invests in its people, that really make tangible material improvements, is something that you just don't get every day.
Yeah.
And to have someone in the Capitol who really gets that, and not just the investments, he shows up here. The governor was just here recently from working with little kids in our schools to talking about the coal piles and the draft to working with our firefighters. Having an elected official who shows up, who cares, and also invest in its people, Green Bay couldn't be prouder. And in Towtown, we know a good, one thing or two about champions.
Oh, yeah.
So we know that. And so he was a champion for this community in a way that, I would be remiss if I said that sometimes Democrats forget that there's all kinds of us outside of Madison and Milwaukee, right? And so it was refreshing to feel like we were just as equal and just as fair in his eyes, and that we got our fair share of engagement and support. He was a phone call away. And so truth be told, I'm actually quite sad. I think there's a big shoes to fill, but I also think that people deserve to enjoy their ice cream and their cheese. And this kind of work is exhausting. And so I'm wishing him and Kathy a wonderful vacation when his term is up, because isn't there nothing more exciting than doing a really good job of being a true public servant and then going off into the farm fields to enjoy your ice cream and cheese. And so to me, it's really great. I think they're big shoes to fill. I will say, I think we have a dynamic bench of amazing folks with resumes that we know of, people that might come out of the woodwork. And so I think it's an exciting time to be a Democrat. I will say, I was interviewed yesterday about that there are certain parties that are gleeful because they thought that the only person that could be hard to beat would be Tony Evers. I just wouldn't be that happy if I was the party that cut homeless veterans shelters here in Green Bay, who couldn't expand Medicaid, who doesn't have a plan for housing, and at the national level is cutting stuff for veterans, the elderly, and children. So I do think it's a moment where I think Democrats have a good chance because we have a deep bench, but I want whoever's running next for governor to be people-oriented and outcome-driven.
Talking to State Representative Ahmad Rivera-Wagner. See, it's getting too hot. I need more water. Sorry about that, Representative. Here in our studios in Green Bay, he represents, what's your district number? I'm sorry.
90.
90. How can I forget that?
Way out here.
Great Packer number as well.
That is a good
Yeah. 90 in the Assembly District out here. A minute left. Let's set it up. We'll come back and talk about it. Give us just the 30,000-foot level of this legislation you're proposing to limit spending by the state legislature on lawsuits.
So when the governor got elected, along with the AG, the lame duck session, in concert with Scott Walker, passed a series of laws that basically gave the power to majority powers in the state Senate and the state Assembly, that they could hire lawyers that they wanted on the taxpayer dime without any votes and without a complete blank check. And so what we've seen is over the last about 10 years, $27 million of partisan lawyers and lawsuits that taxpayers have paid for to go after these causes, none of which they have even won.
Yeah.
And so my bill would change that. So, this is common sense. I don't think a Democrat or a Republican should have this ability, but we're going to dive right in. But it really is shocking that we're even allowed to do this.
Yeah.
It's not good for democracy. It's not good for anyone. But at the end of the day, taxpayers shouldn't have to carry the bill for partisan attacks. If people want their own lawyers, they should get them, but taxpayers shouldn't be on the hook.
Look at this, a politician who could hit a timeline like that. That's fantastic. No, I mean, I think it's a great bill. We're going to come back and discuss it more because I think you're 100% right. If these people in the legislature, both sides, by the way,
Yes.
want to go after people lawsuits for purely, in my opinion, partisan reasons, let them spend their own money, but quit using taxpayer money. Going to talk more about this on the other side with State Rep Ahmad Rivera-Wagner of the 90th Assembly District, and also to talk a little bit about why Green Bay is setting the trend on taxpayer transparency when it comes to our schools. Don't go anywhere. We're live from Green Bay, Wisconsin. WGBW across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network.
A voice for Madison.
There we go. In commercial break. That's great.
Do you have any
Yeah,
song requests?
Yeah, any song requests? Any
Oh,
music?
what's my my favorite is oh my goodness, oh my God, it's Stand Up and Fight. What's it called?
Stand Up and Fight. Zombers. He's a music guy.
Oh my goodness, Won't Back Down.
Look back. There you go, Zombers.
That's my favorite.
By Tom Petty?
Yes, thank you. Why could I not?
good.
It's too hot.
Because it's too damn hot in here. I'm so sorry. I pushed every button on there. And it won't move.
Usually it is cool in here. I will be
I
honest.
know.
Typically it's very cool.
Well, yeah, because
But it's because you can't.
things got changed, unfortunately.
I heard. But
So-
hopefully you're still going to be around.
Well, so far they've kept me. We'll see after this segment whether it may be the Ahmad Rivera-Wagner show from 2004.
No, you don't want. You don't want.
I think you'd be good. Yeah. So I do want to make sure I want to get as much time as you need on your bill because this is important. But I really I didn't understand fully what Green Bay had done,
Yes.
city and the school board, and I think this is an issue that every person that's running for office in 2026 at the state level should answer. Are you for this or not?
I love it. No, and I'm very proud because I was instrumental in making that happen. This is the thing about smart policy. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be crazy. It just has to be clear.
Yeah.
And the thing is, let people make choices. And transparency is the key. I mean, this bill and the tax transparency bill are kind of the same. Frankly, the exact same idea is that we should be better about our government, where it spends its money, and then you should decide if that's something that you want to do. And in Green Bay, we'll get into it. $12 million just this year alone.
Wow.
It goes right off the top of the tax rolls into vouchers.
That's crazy.
It has no accountability.
And hardly anybody knows that.
And no one knows that.
Yeah.
And so what we're trying to do is really make sure that everyday people know where their money is going. We have spent, when the right-wing
20
folks were in
seconds.
our common council, they fought us over the cost of a desk.
All right. Hang on. Here we go.
But then they didn't want to put tax transparency on the tax bill, right? So it's a kind of a
Adds
fascinating.
up. All right. Here we go.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show, live on location in WGBW, our great studios here in downtown Green Bay. Packer training camp underway a couple of miles away. Going to talk to Mike Clemens, our great sports reporter, about that a little later on this hour, so stay tuned for that. But right now, always a pleasure to be joined by Representative Ahmad Rivera-Wagner of the 90th Assembly District here in our studios. Representative Rivera-Wagner, glad to have you along. Want to get right back into this bill. We set it up a little bit before we stepped away, but essentially what this bill does, you correct me if I'm wrong, in layman's terms, saying, hey, legislators of either party, if you want to basically file lawsuits for political gain or to score political points, that's on you and your dime. You can either raise money yourself for your organization, but as taxpayers, we're not going to have that, the taxpayers paying these kind of frivolous lawsuits.
Absolutely. Just to drill down a bit more,
please.
What it does is right now, when Governor Evers was elected, during that lame duck session, which we talked about earlier, they changed a bunch of these laws, giving the authority to the majority leader in the House and the Assembly and the Senate. And they can unilaterally write a check and say, we want you to sue an individual, entity, individual. In fact, the reason why it's so prominent for me is in Green Bay over the last 48 months, we were the target of 2 of these lawsuits, both of which they lost, but they spent collectively $5 million. And that was just of state taxpayer money that wasn't on the defense that the city had to take on, which was also taxpayer funded. So upwards of $10 million were spent for them to, and the biggest case was the Michael Gableman case that accused us of one thing, of having little people in our machines, of having 2 internets, even though our machines aren't connected to the internet.
But I'm not trying. Let me make sure we get that point out there.
Yeah.
The machines in Green Bay for counting votes are not connected to the internet.
Right.
I just want to make sure people understand that because there's a lot of misinformation. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
But we spent $5 million not only investigating that, they then tried to arrest the mayor of Green Bay and arrest the mayor of Madison, again, for allegedly stealing the election from Joe Biden, or for Joe Biden, against then President Trump, and now President Trump. And so taxpayers funded this farce. Now it is widely not only debunked, Michael Gibbon lost his law license on this court case and investigation because it was so unprecedented that it was unethical because it did not meet any single legal standard. But at the end of the day, so he loses his law license, but the people of Wisconsin are on the hook for all of the costs related to that investigation.
And meanwhile, Assembly Speaker Robin Voss becomes the Peter of all this, saying, "I never knew him. I never knew Gableman. Who is that?"
So one of the few things that me and Representative Voss agree with, that this was an embarrassment to the state of Wisconsin, but we were still put on the financial hook to pay for that, and that is unfortunate. And so my bill would change that law, at very least. Any legal representation, because there are times in which the state legislature needs to have legal representation, would have to go before the full body. Anything like a special counsel would have to go get a majority in both bodies. And this is would be like any other bill, any other budget, that you would have to get a majority vote in a public-facing way where the documents are public to be able to actually get a lawsuit, lawyers to pursue lawsuits on behalf of the state legislature. That is what normal democracy looks like. It is quite unique in the country that we just have 1 or 2 people getting to decide that, we don't like you, so we're going to sue you. The second lawsuit was after we got death threats from the Gableman lawsuit. We had to increase security at City Hall. So during a mayoral election, a random state senator sued the city for adding improvements and enhanced security at City Hall. And you know who paid the bill for that? Taxpayers. Yeah. They lost that lawsuit as well. But it was a $1.8 million to try to influence a local election. And so to me, I don't think anyone should have this power. Right. I think this is not about Republicans and Democrats. It's about common sense, and it's about democracy. Yeah. If you're going to make a case for why the legislature needs to fund unlimited, a blank check for lawsuits, you should have to make that case and get the majority of people of the legislature to vote for it. And so this bill is common sense and simple.
I love every part of it. Long overdue. It's about transparency. No matter who you voted for at the top of the ticket, red hat, blue hat, everybody should be on board with this. Only about a minute and a half, or maybe 2 minutes left here. Not enough time. But I learned this yesterday, and you had a large part in this because of this, again, transparency. Give us the 2-minute version of this. It's so important.
So one of the things that happens at the local level is your tax bill tells you where it gets spent. And one of the largest sections of your tax bill is the school funding. Given the realities of the budget, we are going to have to go to referendum. What people don't know is that whatever money you get allocated from property taxes to schools, a certain percentage right off the top goes to voucher schools.
Private schools,
privately funded schools that have a different set of accountability, have different rules, do not have the same access and or accountability of a traditional public school. Most people don't know that when we go to referendum, that they get the money right off the top. Right. So what we figured out is that you can put the exact amount, the total amount of tax dollars that are going to private voucher schools on your property taxes, and we put it on our local ballot. The irony was, this was about transparency, not even whether you were pro or con voucher schools. You should know that this large amount of money, before it even gets to the first public school kid, is going to private voucher schools. It was a fascinating fight. where we actually saw statewide actors come down to Green Bay, tell us how terrible we were for trying to hold voucher schools accountable, but it passed with the mayor casting the tie-breaking vote. And it's going to go on the first tax bill this year. And we're very excited because we think that taxpayers deserve to know, and transparency is important, and they should know how much money. And just in Green Bay alone, $12 million comes right off the top before our public schools. We're having a $30 million potential referendum.
Yeah.
12 million of that is going to go just to private voucher
Well,
schools.
congrats on this, because this is real legislation that affects real people's lives. You're getting it done. I appreciate that. And we're going to talk more about this, because I think every candidate for state office should answer the question, are you for transparency where school money goes on your tax bill? Great work. I appreciate you, Ramad. Rivera Wagner, representative of the 90th District. Come on back soon. We appreciate you. All right, thank you so very much. Stay tuned. We have Robin Vining next on a big announcement, and Clemens on Green Bay Packer training camp. Don't go anywhere after this. The Todd Allbaugh Show live from Green Bay on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Madison's real news and great conversation. 92.7 WMDX. Rebuilding and refreshing local radio one station at a time. This Civic Media radio station is proud to be a part of your community. Learn more at civicmedia.us.
It's estimated that some 87% of U.S. agricultural businesses were using some type of artificial intelligence as late as 2021. I'm PM Yankee with a quick update on what's happening in food and farming news.
Hey, Zommers, do we know if Rep. Vining's coming in, or is she on StreamYard?
It will be StreamYard.
It's StreamYard. Okay, all right, thanks.
Yeah, I asked.
Thank you so much.
I can walk myself. All right, okay.
Intelligence your farmers using.
Yeah, love to have you on
Be
soon.
careful.
Talk more
That's
about
the
this,
advice
because these
of
are,
Dr. David
to me,
Cole,
these are
Professor
real
Emeritus
legislative.
of
It's not
Agriculture and
self-stuff,
Applied
is it?
Economics
But
at
this is
Virginia Tech
tangent.
College.
It's right.
He was in
That
Wisconsin
I
this
think
week
people
sharing his
understand
insights
it as a
on this
real
new
effect for the
technology
positive,
and how we
and
should
they
carefully
should
be using it.
For example, we saw drones
And if they
spinning
really
the
are,
other
that
day,
tells the
spot
story.
drones
And I think that
on the
you
dairy
got it.
farms.
I should have
We
said
have
that.
all
I
the
should have. No,
information, got the
these are.
robotic
I don't
markers,
actually. These are
etc.
personal.
So
Right.
it's
You're
going
like
to
almost not
accelerate
personal. Yeah, right.
strategic
Have a great day.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
making. But one of the things you got to be really careful is that it's not always going to give you accurate information. And so what you have to do is you still have to have the human.
Love talking to him. He's so
He's
so
for
good
sure.
at just explaining things and putting it down there.
Getting it down where the chickens can get at
That's
it.
right. And just a super nice person as well.
Yes, for sure.
And being able to interact. That the more you go high tech, the more you have to have the human and the high touch.
Dr. David Cole, Professor Emeritus of Agriculture and Applied Economics at Virginia Tech College. He was a guest in Wisconsin this week, cautioning that artificial intelligence only as good as the human operators overseeing it.
This is the sound of corn pests wreaking havoc on your crops. This is the sound of a channel field protected by
Pardon me.
Bayer's trait technology. With the RNAi technology of Smart Stacks Pro, the all-in corn rootworm fighter, and VT4 Pro, Bayer's widest spectrum of defense, you can stay one step ahead of ever-changing pest pressure. Find the right corn trait for your fields at channel.com/corn traits. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
You're invited to Clinton Farms in Bear Creek for this year's Farm Technology Days, Generations of Progress. This year's event features the chance to explore cutting-edge equipment, innovative techniques, and taking a glimpse into the next generation of agriculture. There's also a Rotary Parlor, seminars, and of course, field demos of all kinds. Mark your calendars for August 5th through the 7th and bring the whole family to this year's event. For more information and show details, visit wifarmtechdays.org.
And the Wisconsin Corn Promotion Board has become a platinum sponsor of the Wisconsin FFA. Shane Goplin, secretary of the Wisconsin Corn Promotion Board, says they are the future of agriculture and they're happy to support the team. One of the messages you may note in the future is their promotion of unleaded 88 fuel that the officers team will be using to travel the state. That's a look at food news on a Friday. I'm PM Yankee.
The great Pam Yankee, ladies and gentlemen.
Bag instead of bag. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I hope Todd sent, or I hope Luke sent the right link.
Me too. Oh well. We gotta do the brewer ticket thing right off the bat anyway.
Yeah.
Sky, lows dropping to the mid-60s. Shower and storm chances return for the weekend. Partly sunny and highs in the mid-80s to 90. Currently at 77.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
I imagine we'll talk about Superman. It's the same thing I said about F1. It's a great video. The music is great. The action's great. The CGI is great. I don't feel like they had to really develop the characters. It was fine.
I thought they did a really good job of showing Superman's, humility.
Pete had a new promo. Oh,
One of
here
my
we go.
positives, it wasn't 2 hours and 40 minutes like every other blockbuster movie this summer. But
Representative Vining, how are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. About 30 seconds here, will be on the air, so it should be all set to go. I got to do a quick Brewers reminder for tickets we're giving away. Then we'll get into the interview, and we'll have, once we start
you're
the
giving away
interview,
tickets for Monday, right?
yeah, that's right. We'll,
For Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, for Wednesday. Yeah.
For
So
Wednesday?
we'll have about 13 minutes or so to visit when we get underway.
Okay, great.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
20 seconds.
Thank you. Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live on location in our studios at WGBW in downtown Green Bay, Wisconsin. Coming up later this half hour, going to talk with our great sports reporter Mike Clemens, who's a couple miles away at Packers training camp. He's going to be attending the shareholders meeting here at 3 o'clock and is kind enough to visit with us just before that. So stay tuned. Clemens will be here. We'll always look forward to our visits with him. Also going to talk in just a moment to State Representative Robin Vining, talking about her big announcement. But first, Summers, have to remind people we're right smack dab in the middle of our free Brewer Ticket Friday giveaway. Yes, it's a statewide contest. These are big tickets, folks, not just because it's the club level seats at AmFam Field in Milwaukee. 4 tickets, but these are tickets that people are really trying to get right now because it's for Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, July the 30th at 1:10 in the afternoon against the Chicago Cubs. Brewers right now a game ahead of the Cubs in the Central Division of the National League. This series could tell the story of who comes out on top of the National League Central. Again, this game for Wednesday, July 30th at 1:10 against the Cubs. Here's how you can be eligible to win 4 tickets to this game. And you have to be able to go to this game. We can't trade them out for any other game. Download the Civic Media app. Go to one of the first 11 stations on the app after you open it up on the Civic Media app. Click where it says text. Then it'll pop up. And text the word, and I'm not making this up, it's my first name today, T-O-D-D. The word is Todd, T-O-D-D. Text the word Todd, T-O-D-D, as in David. Make sure that you use 2 Ds, T-O-D-D. The word is Todd. Text it right now after or at the 4 o'clock hour. The computer will randomly select someone with the correct entry, and that person will be going to the Brewers game on July 30th. 4 tickets. The word is Todd, T-O-D-D. Text it right now to the Civic Media app to be eligible for those Milwaukee Brewer tickets. 37 minutes now past the hour of 2 o'clock, and joining us via StreamYard, State Representative Robin Vining. Representative Vining, thank you so much for being with us. I believe this is the first time you're on our show. Pleasure to meet you, at least virtually, as we do with everyone on this program. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, and what led you to the state legislature.
Thanks so much, Todd. I'm so happy to be here. I'm happy to meet you. I'm an Air Force brat. I've grown up all over the country. And my husband and I moved here to Wisconsin when our kids were really little, and just immediately this was home. And this is where we wanted to stay. And my path to politics really started in 2011 when Scott Walker was elected, with the assault, really the attacks on public education, on educators, on workers, and marching around the Capitol with our tiny little kids. And then watching our kids go through their entire K-12 experience under those funding cuts. And that really led me to run for office in 2018. That's my start. So here we are.
And so you've been here since 2018. and I've been in the legislature. And for people that don't know, kind of summarize where your current assembly district is at geographically in the state.
Sure. So this is my third district in 4 legislative cycles because the maps have changed so much. And right now I am honored to represent the people of Wauwatosa, Brookfield, and Elm Grove. So just outside the city of Milwaukee in the Milwaukee metro area. And about half my district's in Waukesha County and half my district's in Milwaukee County.
Do you represent the Brookfield Zoo? Because I love the zoo.
No.
Or is that just outside? All right. Well, I thought I'd try. All right. Well, we hear a lot about you in the news, doing great things in the legislature. I understand, Representative Vining, that you're making an announcement today in terms of your political future.
Sure. So yes, last week we announced that I'm running for the state Senate seat. We're very excited about this. We believe the Wisconsin State Senate to be the most flippable chamber in the country, and this is the most flippable seat. So after 15 years of fighting for the things that we believe in, we finally have a chance to win, and we're really excited about that.
And who's the incumbent right now in this district?
Well, we don't know if he's running again. He hasn't said. But currently in the seat is my colleague, Representative Rob Hutton. Or I'm sorry, Senator Rob Hutton.
Right, Senator Rob Hutton is the current seat, and he hasn't announced whether he's going to run or not. I think this is very interesting because you bring up this great point that due to fairer maps in the kind of the agreement between the Supreme Court decided to, or the legislature decided to basically adapt Governor Evers' maps in the state legislature. And we've seen this. I'm from the other side of the state, originally in southwest Wisconsin, and incumbent state senator Howard Markline, who has not, I guess, officially announced whether he's going to run for election or not. But his district got greatly more competitive because he lost the northern part of his district, which was really, really deep red, and it kind of spread it out more south of the Wisconsin River. And he has more people, I would argue, that are from, blue parts of the state, and it's more even. And I think that's going to create a fairer race in that state Senate seat. Tell us about your state Senate seat, or the seat you're running for, Representative Vining. Is it kind of the same thing? Was the map configured to make it more competitive?
Well, it's certainly a competitive seat. We see this as kind of a 51-49 race where we're favored by about 2 points. So really tough, really tight race. And I am really excited because one of the things that I have experienced over the years with those different maps is getting to know the people across this entire Senate district. Because my assembly districts, I flipped the 14th assembly district in 2018. And then in 2024, I was drawn into the 13th assembly district with a Republican incumbent. And I flipped the 13th assembly district. So I have been able to, over the last 6.5 years, represent the people of Wauwatosa, Brookfield, Milwaukee, Elm Grove, West Allis, and now the district also includes Pewaukee and Waukesha, and then town of Brookfield. So I have represented a large portion of this Senate district in my time in the assembly. And yeah, we think it's competitive, and I think it's great.
So we're speaking with State Representative Robin Vining, who announced last week she is going to seek a seat in the Wisconsin State Senate. I think most political pundits that look at this think that that's probably, although you never know, probably the most viable route for Democrats to pick up at least one of the houses in the state legislature in the 2026 election. As you look at issues, Representative Vining, and start campaigning now for state Senate, what are you hearing at the doors? And the short answer that you always ask people in this situation, why are you running for state Senate?
Sure. So the issues that I'm hearing from people have been consistent over the years. And it is fully funding the public schools. It's affordable health care. It's making sure that everybody has access to mental health care. It's ending gun violence. It's the housing affordability crisis. It's combating climate change. And it is the cost of childcare. And so we are hearing that, part of the great luxury of just having represented West Allis 2 years ago, I heard it in West Allis. I know intimately the struggles with childcare and school funding there, and I hear it across the district now as well. So Wauwatosa, Brookfield, Elm Grove, yeah.
So, and I apologize, this is on me. I've been up here running. We already did the Wisconsin Public Education Network conference yesterday, so I haven't had as much time as I normally would to prepare. That's on me, but I'm unfamiliar. Did you vote for or against the state budget that passed and Governor Evers signed into law?
Sure. I voted against the state budget. I voted against all 4 state budgets that I have voted on in my time in the legislature.
And is there a particular reason on this one that you said no?
Well, so I think negotiated that budget on a Republican playing field. And that is why run for office right now, why run in this really difficult seat, because the path to the majority runs right through our Senate district. And the way that we get a state budget that's not negotiated on a Republican playing field is by winning the majority. That's how we fully fund the public schools. We fund childcare as infrastructure. We pass legislation that's going to end gun violence. We make sure that healthcare is affordable. We address the climate crisis. We address the housing affordability. And so my take on the state budget, it just wasn't good enough on those issues. We funded childcare in the first year, but not in the second. And so, we won't dive into the minutia of that, but I believe that public schools are at the heart of our communities. They should be at the heart of our state budget. I want to see significant investment there. I wrote the bill that included a 90% special ed reimbursement rate, and I want to see that in the next state budget.
As you look at the state budget, I know some Democrats, and I'm not saying you can speak for yourself whether this includes you or not, there were some Democrats that were disappointed in Governor Evers for not fighting more, drawing a red line in the sand for public education like he did more so for childcare for the UW system. Do you think that Governor Evers should have gotten more squeeze of the juice, as they say, on public education this budget, or why don't you think there was more money in this budget for public education?
I wasn't in the room. The assembly wasn't even invited into negotiations. And so my perspective really is we were on a Republican playing field. The second we started on a Republican playing field, we lost. And so we cannot negotiate to where we need to get when we're still on a Republican playing field. So, that's my take.
So you just think it needs to at least one of the houses of the legislature needs to be controlled by Democrats in order to get more of these things passed? Is that a fair statement?
Todd, I think we need both houses of the legislature to get these things passed, and I think we need to hold the governorship. That's how we can really, truly deliver, right? The will of the people is the law of the land. That's what we say in Wisconsin. It's on the governor's conference room ceiling, and we have got to get a legislature and an executive branch at the same time that represent the will of the people in order to make it the law of the land, and that includes the state budget.
I was, as I said, here at the Wisconsin Public Education Network Summit yesterday. One of the things I learned that I'm really impressed about, we just had Representative Ahmad Rivera-Wagner on. He was one of the lead people that did this. I got it through at least, that the city council in Green Bay worked with the school board up here, and they got this transparency put on people's property tax bills. So the next property tax bill is going to specifically say where the money goes for public schools and how much of that goes to voucher schools. I think that's just good transparency on tax dollars. Are you in favor of that sort of transparency on tax bills statewide?
I sure better be. I authored the bill as soon as I was elected in 2019.
So you were the co-author with Representative Rivera-Wagner?
Well, when I first started in the legislature in 2019, that was one of the first bills that I co-authored. Yeah, I'd like to see that transparency as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
About a couple of minutes left here. What have I not asked you that you think that people, more not across the state necessarily, but in Southeast Wisconsin, in this state Senate seat that you're running for, what issues do you really think that they need to know that I have not asked about so far?
Sure. So I authored a big package of bills called Mental Health Care is Healthcare. I think that we need to talk about mental health care as healthcare. I believe this to be a multi-partisan issue or a nonpartisan issue. I think everybody cares about mental health right now, and it's affecting people in all corners of the state. And it's an issue that we should be talking about when we're out campaigning. But it's an issue that we should be talking about all the time. So mental health is a really big issue that I hope Democrats spend more time talking about, and I hope that we can find some support across the aisle on.
I think I couldn't agree with you more. We need more help on mental health. Is there something, and we only got about, I guess, a minute left here or so, but is there one specific thing in mental health that you would like to see addressed?
Yes. I would like to see a much larger investment in K-12 schools. We did a good job in the UW system in the state budget. The allocation, I think, was really positive, and I want to credit the governor for that. But we need to see a much larger investment in K-12 mental health access. So, yeah. And I think our job
Good.
for the next 12. Then that's our job for the next year as Democrats, right? We have a 15-year history trying to come back from the Scott Walker era, and now we have about 15 months to tell people what Democrats are going to do when we get the majority and how we can make life better for Wisconsin families.
State Representative Robin Vining, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon out the campaign trail. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you so much. Come on back and talk a little football. Mike Clemens live from Allbaugh Field after this on the Civic Media Radio Network. Thanks, Rep. Vining. Appreciate you. Have a nice day.
Thanks so
Bye.
much.
Yep.
This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
It's the Eco Minute, powered by Clean Wisconsin, your environmental voice since 1970. I'm Amy Barrio. An unwelcome surprise for Wisconsin farmers looking to apply for the federal Rural Inheritance Program for free. The popular program helps rural small businesses and farmers invest in money-saving energy efficiency upgrades and clean energy. But the application window that was supposed to open July 1st was abruptly closed by the USDA. The agency says it's delaying the grant application window. The EPA is awarding a $700,000 grant to help Kenosha County pay for the final phase of restoration of the Pike River. Crews are restoring banks and habitat along the river and planting native pollinator-friendly plants. The project is aimed at improving the quality of water flowing into Lake Michigan. For a deep dive into environmental issues impacting Wisconsin, check out my Defender podcast at cleanwisconsin.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
I guess the cuts were more just Luke sent them over since he had them. There wasn't anything specific that Mike wanted to use, so we just won't worry about it for now.
All right, thank you.
Here's Terry Barr with the Civic Media Radio Network.
It's Ice Cream Month, and did you know you can celebrate at this area stop along the state's ice cream trail? Here's the scoop. Now, in Wisconsin, we've got 49 different licensed ice cream plants that are making it. But this map focuses in on unique stops in Wisconsin. Every one of them's got a story. That's Pam Youngke, known as the Fabulous Farm Babe. She says the current trail includes 20 locations, each one from Hayward to La Crosse, Madison, and then north to Appleton, Green Bay, and Door County dishes out delicious, locally made ice cream. I've been to one or two, but I'm surprised by how few I've gotten a chance to visit, and I'm a pretty big ice cream fan. Find the trail at the website gatherwisconsin.com and add your own local favorite there, too. Until next time, I'm Terry Barr.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sugar River Pizza and the John and Gordy Show have both been nominated for Madison Magazine's Best of Madison. Thanks for your vote. To celebrate, they're throwing Sugar River Pizza parties at workplaces around Madison all summer.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live in Green Bay, home of those Green Bay Packers at our station WGBW here in downtown Green Bay. And nobody better to talk about those Packers than our very own sports reporter Mike Clemens, who is live standing by at Allbaugh Field, about to go into a shareholders meeting, but kind enough to take a few minutes with us. Mike, how you doing?
Okay, I'm sitting on the visitors bench at the 50-yard line. It looks like about maybe 8,000 or 9,000 fans in the stands behind me. And then at the 50-yard line is a stage with a shade over it with about a dozen chairs, because that's where the board of directors guys will be, the executive committee. And there's where Mark Murphy will deliver his final shareholders meeting with the finances. You know, it's open record on how the team did in the past year. And at the end, he'll officially kind of hand it off to Ed Policy as the new president and CEO of the Packers after 17 years.
It's really remarkable. The Packers put out, you probably saw some great video on social yesterday of Mark Murphy going around signing stuff for kids and talking to fans. You got to give him credit. He has really done a great job after taking over the reins of Bob Harlan of keeping this franchise together and moving it to the next level.
You know, he takes over the job and he goes into the summer of 2008 in the Favre saga. And he goes down there and offers Brett $20 million to just retire and let us move Aaron Rodgers into the starting role at quarterback, and you can sort of be our ambassador. And Favre turns on him and goes on Letterman and tells the media about the offer and says, you know, I want to play. That's all. I just want to play. And then they had that whole meltdown. So that's how that, you know, his run started. But, you know, he went around and he saw what the Cubs did with Wrigleyville around that property. And he saw what the Patriots did with the Patriot Village. And he hires this guy named Ed Policy, who was sort of his right-hand man, who'd grown up around the 49ers and then later the Cleveland Browns. His father, Carmen Policy, a president. And together they put together Titletown. And, you know, they understand that Lambeau Field is this mecca. And the real estate around it is hallowed ground. So they turn that into real estate for offices, apartments, condos, attractions. They lease it out to. They don't own the restaurants. They find the people that are restaurant experts. They lease them to them, and these are all revenue streams. So now you get to a thing here where not only is he bringing in those kinds of outside revenue streams, but when he started 17 years ago, his shared revenue from the NFL, because all the teams split up the NFL with a salary cap, he got $138 million. And yesterday he told us this year they got $438 million. I mean, it's quadrupled in his 17 years as the president of a team.
Is Murphy available to do any financial counseling for me, Mike Clemens? That's what I mean. He's pretty good. Pretty good.
So,
hey, we're talking to Mike Clemens, our great sports reporter live at Lambeau Field right now via phone. A big news on the Zach Tom of offensive lineman. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, he got a contract, you know, his next 4 years. He's locked down. The big number on that was $30.2 million, which makes him the highest paid guaranteed payment offensive lineman ever. It's a signature bonus he got. That's a pretty big deal. But it also means, from a football perspective, Zach Tom's going to be a tackle. I ain't going to be moving him to center anytime soon. They want him to anchor the right tackle. So we've been watching, though, Elton Jenkins, who they're moving from left guard to center. Now, he's got some sort of a back situation. He was out there again today watching practice. Looks like he's coming along, but we're waiting to see what his contract is going to be, because when they spent $77 million on Aaron Banks for the 49ers to take over left guard, his old spot, move him to the center, his agent called the Packers and said, I beg your pardon? I mean, you're going to be paying my guy if you're going to move him to center. So we're waiting for that to get ironed out here probably in the next couple of days.
Interesting. Can you tell us quickly, do you know anything more about this guy from Australia or New Zealand that came in, a kicker, and got some fluke injury of football in the eye during warm-ups, and he might be done? That's just crazy.
Yeah, and frankly, I never even got a chance to talk to him, but it's some kind of a freak accident where he had an eye injury. All I can know is that Brandon McManus today kicked one from 54 yards. I mean, it went right down the middle. And I turned to Pete Doherty from the press and I said, whatever happened to Anders Carlson? You know, the guy that got drafted a couple of years ago. And they said, okay, enough of this project. Let's just get someone who can kick the football. So that was a very smart. So, you know, they go into this season, Todd, with basically there's no more excuses. You can't blame Joe Barry. You can't blame Anders Carlson, you know. You can't blame inexperience. The core of this team is in their third year. Matt LaFleur's in his seventh. There's an urgency to get to the Super Bowl here.
Well, I heard you on Matt Nair with Jane and Greg yesterday or the day before, whatever it was. I thought this was very interesting to me. If you could repeat it quickly, Ed Policy, no guarantees here this year for anybody.
That's right. I mean, when we asked them in about a month ago, Civic Media, we got into this little circle kind of conference, and we asked the new CEO and president who takes over tonight, hey, you know, Matt LaFleur, Brian Gutekunst, contract extension for them. He says, I don't like to have guys not get signed if they're 1 year. But, they got 2 years left. We'll revisit that next year. Basically, he put LaFleur and Goody on let's see what you can do this year, and then we'll talk about extensions. So, it's a show me year.
Yeah. I think in a lot of ways the Packers always appreciate reporting. Mike, 1 minute left here. Mike Clemens. Now we're downtown here, Mike, and there's this big yacht that pulls up, and I said, well, Kreitlow gave Clemens a ride to Green Bay. Any truth to that, Mike? Did you get a ride in the boat?
Sir. No, I rent a pontoon on Eagle River from time to time, but that's all I got for you.
Okay. All right. Very. Any other quick big news out of Packers training camp before I let you go?
Yeah, Matthew Golden looks great. I mean, yesterday in practice, a couple of times, Jordan Love throws a little slant pass him over the middle. He turns, and he's looking at a corner, a nickel, and a safety, including Evan Williams. He jukes them one little move, and he goes up the middle between the hashes, and he's gone. I mean, he just explodes. And I talked to Evan Williams because, he's going to be a problem for defenses.
Mike Clemens, our Hall of Fame reporter. We appreciate you, my friend. Have a great time at the shareholders meeting. Thanks for making time for us, Mike. Stay tuned. Hour number 2 is next on the Civic Media Radio Network.
I think it's time, Terry, that the Lombardi Trophy goes home to Lambeau Field where it belongs.
92.7 WMDX.
You're still there. Thank you very much, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. If you can hear us, really appreciate you.
A Civic Media station.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Arizona, it's
going to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
Mother, Lori Daybell. She's already in prison for the murders of her children and her 5th husband's wife in Idaho.
Before the Arizona judge gave Lori Daybell 2 more life sentences on top of the life terms she already has in Idaho, she told the judge all of the victims that she's been convicted of killing in both states are happy and enjoying the afterlife.
Heaven is a very busy and happy place, where everyone is engaged in projects that they love to do.
The judge saying she will never get out of prison.
It will take an act of God for you to go free.
Alex Stone, EBC News.
2 days of meetings concluded between the Justice Department and Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. She's serving 20 years for sex trafficking. Heat alerts stretching from the southeast to New England today, along with stifling humidity, and water rescues underway in Kansas City, Missouri, after flash flooding. This is ABC News.
As Wisconsin is cheering on the Brew Crew. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah Tomei Olson. We've now got 4 people running for governor in 2026. After Governor Tony Evers announced he would not be seeking a 3rd term yesterday, this morning his Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez announced her campaign. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley says he intends to enter the race too. Meanwhile, there's speculation Josh Kaul, Sarah Godlewski, Kelda Roys, and Cavalier Johnson could run as well. On the Republican side, 2 candidates have already thrown their hats in the ring. But could a former Wisconsin governor come back for a non-consecutive term, just like President Donald Trump did? Lisa Hale reports.
With Governor Tony Evers' announcement yesterday that he would not seek a 3rd term in the state's highest office, politicians on both sides are wondering who
you see in the politics chat, we got some audio from Shali from Josh Kaul. Do you want to hear that and see if it's anything you're interested in?
Sure, let's give it a listen,
the
please.
Washington County executive, and Bill Berrien.
No comments or no announcements today, but what I can say is, first of all, the governor just made this announcement yesterday, and I do think it's important that we take a bit of time to reflect on the significance of the last 6.5 years in Wisconsin. When Governor Evers took office, our state was moving in a very different direction with attacks on workers' rights, attacks on teachers, and that has fundamentally shifted over the past 6.5 years. And I've been proud to work with Governor Evers on a number of different issues, and you can see the progress we've made on things like fighting the opioid epidemic, where we've now helped secure over $800 million that's going to go to fight that epidemic. We've worked to restore access to safe and legal abortion in the state of Wisconsin. We have fair maps in Wisconsin, and there are so many other important changes. We're also dealing with a federal administration right now that is trying to dismantle opportunity and personal security for people across the country.
I've heard enough. Yeah, we're not using
There's not really much to say there. Yeah.
It's 3 minutes of I haven't got anything to say.
1 minute of I haven't, but yeah. Do you want to hear the Clemens cuts? Just the short ones, so you know what we have.
Yeah, I don't need to hear them, but just tell them to me again what the what the first one is. What again?
It is Matt LaFleur on how training camp's going.
Okay.
It is Evan Williams on Matthew Golden.
Evan Williams on Matthew Golden.
It is Marshawn Lloyd on what it's like to be back after injuries. And then pivoting to baseball, Pat Murphy about the MLB trade deadline.
All right,
Those
cool.
are all the short
Awesome.
ones. Probably
And those are all like 30 seconds-ish or so, 30, 40 seconds.
They're like 20.
Oh, wow. Perfect. All right, great.
They're just real quick. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Hazy sunshine from
I
small
figured
to
you probably
high
didn't want to
today
use
in
the Josh Call one, but I wanted to play it just in case.
No. Maybe if you would have said something. I mean, obviously, it's just partisan hits without saying anything.
A little bit of posturing.
Yeah, exactly.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
The founder of Wonderfully Wisconsin. He's been on the show before, but tonight he's here to make the popcorn pick of the week, Mr. Vandenplatz.
The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh my God. I love when people pick a movie.
Is so Schwaba? Are you doing Schwaba tonight, or who's doing? Well, I'm not doing, but who's producing Schwaba? I'm not asking who's doing Schwaba tonight.
I am producing Schwaba's show.
Okay,
I will leave it
very
there.
good. Very good. That's make that absolutely crystal clear.
On your local Civic Media radio station.
20 seconds.
Thank you.
We're going to have a bar band Friday, so I can give a preview on that if you want,
Yeah,
since we recorded it yesterday, because that's when
That's
Terry was
great.
free.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh along with Mr. Aaron Zommers on the board. We are here at the studios of WGBW in downtown Green Bay, Wisconsin. Zommers is back home in downtown Madison on State Street at the world headquarters of Civic Media here in Green Bay. Fairly clear skies, maybe a little overcast high clouds, maybe a little smoke in there, would have you warm conditions those are. I think I lost a couple of pounds yesterday up here at the Public Education Summit, Wisconsin Public Education Network Summit. I'll get it right yet. But is it still sultry and steamy down in Madison?
It sure is. Also fairly overcast and very humid, very sticky.
One of those days
drink
that
some water.
You want to stay inside in air condition, if only our air condition. Back home, there. Yeah, that's one of the great things. At least down in Madison, it's like an ice box in there, which is great on days like today. Here, a little toasty, but we're happy to be here. But you understand, we're happy to be here. Also happy to have some of our great listeners. This is listening via WGBW on the app. Martia from Madison listening on the app saying, I'm in Milwaukee right now, traveling to my son's basketball tournament in Chicago. Well, Martia, thank you for taking us along on your drive. Good luck to your son. I know some folks that have kids in these traveling basketball tournaments. They go all over, and it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. So safe travels, and hope your air conditioning is working down there. Also, and this is feedback I can use. Because Len texted in and is a little salty on the hang on, because I screenshotted this, so I didn't miss it. And this is fair because I want to check with Zommers to find out whether this is really the case or not. He says, Len in Madison on WMDX says, what's worse, radio announcer that never announces the current time or one that always announces the time a minute late? Now, Zombers, so on my clocks right now, I have several clocks in front of me. It is exactly, let me get this right here, 3:08:47 right there. We're about to go to 3:09. Is that the correct time?
That is the correct time. However, given that you normally just say the minute, if you said it was 3:08 right now, by the time it gets through all the delays and everything to make sure we don't, get swear words on the air, it would be 3:10.
All right. So that's the problem right there, Len.
I think it's because of the delay. So I think you say
it's the time delay. So that's that, but that's good information because moving forward, I'll say if you're listening via time delay, but that's news I could use. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Len. That's useful information. And thank you, Zommers, for the explanation because I wonder what's going on here. Are my clocks off or what? I mean, a lot of people.
Because honestly, I didn't really think of that either.
Right. I mean, a lot of people that know me will say my clock's been off for quite some time. But that's another story. Okay, well, don't forget we're giving away Brewer tickets today up until 4 o'clock. It's free Brewer Ticket Friday. And these are great tickets and great seats. It is for this coming Wednesday's game, July 30th at 1:10 in the afternoon against the Chicago Cubbies. Brewers in a race right now with the Cubs for the National League Central Division. Brewers still a game ahead. This entire race for the Central could be decided next week at AmFam Field, and you could be there. Your chance to win tickets, 4 of them in club-level seats. I'll guarantee you the air condition in the concourse right behind these seats is always working. So, how are you eligible to win these tickets? You have until 4 o'clock to download the Civic Media app if you don't have it. Regardless, open it up. First 11 stations are ones that we are on. Click on one of them. Lower right-hand corner, it says text. Click on that. And then text the following word right now. The word today is Todd. T-O-D-D. Not making this up. I don't write it. I just read it. Todd. T-O-D-D. Make sure you use 2 Ds.
So text Todd. Don't text Todd, but text Todd to Civic Media.
Yes. Very confusing, I know. Text the word Todd or the name Todd, T-O-D-D, right now on the Civic Media app. You have to spell it with 2 Ds, has to be correct because the computer chooses this. If it's not correct, you're not going to get chosen. 4 Brewer tickets for this coming Wednesday's game, Wednesday, July 30th, 1:10 in the afternoon against the Cubs. Text the word Todd, T-O-D-D, right now. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, our friend, ongoing contributor, Peter Rapine, managing editor of E-Bombs World, going to be back with us. Always glad for that. Bringing us the news of the wild and wacky. How about that, Summers? That'll be a great time. And a reminder, I guess just a bulletin, if you will, about the show coming up this coming Tuesday. Hope you set that time aside and join us. Really, really excited about Tuesday's show next week. We are going to be live in Southwest Wisconsin at 9 Springs Farm.
Springs.
Why do I keep saying 9?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sorry. 6 Springs Farm. Get your springs right, Todd. We're going to be at 6 Springs Farm. And you say, well, Todd, what's special about that? Well, here's the deal. Joe Thomas. A lot of people know Joe Thomas. Most people know Joe Thomas. Hall of Fame college football career with the Wisconsin Badger football team. And then went on to have a Hall of Fame career with the Cleveland Browns in the NFL. Had the kind of the Iron Man record of the NFL for most consecutive snaps taken in the NFL. Also happens to be just a great guy from everything I've known and read about him. Well, he's given us a special permission to go onto his farm in Southwest Wisconsin, 6 Springs Farm, where he is raising Wagyu beef. His new passion, his beef, is called Hall of Fame beef, and we're going to have the whole 2 hours on his farm. There's going to be live cattle involved. So now, Zommers, we've got a live chicken named Sue at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair next Tuesday. live cattle on the farm. Our friend Brady Ewing, also a former Badger and also a former NFL player, will join us for most of the show as our co-host for the day. So join Brady Ewing and me as we sit down and catch up with Joe Thomas at 6 Springs Farm next Tuesday from 2 until 4. I'm really looking forward to this summer. Should be a great time.
This is going to be very cool. I'm excited.
If I only remember the correct name of his farm. That would be
hopefully when you're there you do.
Yeah, that would be very helpful. Okay, it is 13 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock, and that's at least live. It might be a minute later once it gets to you via tape delay, but it's 13 past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
This or that, this or that. Then of course the choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that.
Time once again for What's Worse. Nothing to give away, no prize money involved, but it is your chance to have your voice heard across all the Civic Media radio stations, except those who have cut away for the Brewers. Brewers taking on the Marlins this afternoon. Game, the first pitch probably already underway there on several of our Brewers network stations. So here we go. For the rest of us, though, we haven't had time. It's been so busy, Zommers, this week with Governor Evers saying he wasn't going to run for a third term. Now we haven't even got to the news this morning. Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez, who's been on this program several times, and I understand now, because we have a direct link to the Lieutenant Governor via our very own Luke Mathers, who has gotten her on this program several times. And we've always enjoyed having her on, and now we're trying to get her on to talk about her race for the governor, for her gubernatorial race. And apparently we reached out, and the response we got back was, new phone, who this?
That's not what I heard. But okay.
I don't know. But she the lieutenant governor's been going on other programs. That's fantastic. But we'd love to have her come back on our show and talk about running for lieutenant governor. And then our friend State Senator Kelda Royce, she's been on this program a bunch of times, and we're trying to get her on the show as well because we'd love to have her on because I think that she's going to get in, and I think that both these individuals, Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez and State Senator Kelda Royce, would be great candidates. So, and by the way, we'll take all comers. We'll take Republican, Democratic, anybody who's running for governor. Josh Shulman, Republican, was on this program when we were up at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. We want to talk to everybody because this is going to be a big, wide open race, really important race. And by the way, as long as I brought it up, Zommers, I owe an apology to State Senator Kelda Royce because yesterday on this program, we had on Bill McCoshen. Republican strategist Bill McCoshen along with Dan Schaefer of the Recombobulation area. And I was talking to McCoshen and asked him, hey, are you thinking of running for governor? Because our very own Trygve Olsen of the Lincoln Project, who comes on with us every Wednesday, he said last year the two people, one Republican, one Democrat, I would walk back to Wisconsin to do doors for was Bill McCoshen on the Republican side and Ben Wickler on the Democratic side. Now, you know this because you were here on Wednesday when we had our big conclave for Civic Media and Trygve filled in. Trygve has been so impressed with State Senator Kelda Royce that he apparently also now has said this about Kelda Royce. That if she gets in, that he'd also walk back to Wisconsin and do doors for Kelda Royce.
Yes.
So
I didn't want to interrupt you, but I probably should have with that.
Well, no, it's good. It's good because I want to make sure that I keep myself straight, which I have a hard time doing, by the way. But anyway, so now Trygve is on record saying if Ben Wickler gets in on the Democratic side, he'll do doors for him. If Kelda Royce runs on the Democratic side, he'll do doors for her. And if Bill McCoshen gets in on the Republican side, he'll do doors for him. Now, Zommers, what have we learned about this exercise and about this bit? I think we've learned that Trygve Olsen is a political whore. That's what I
think so.
No. Here's the deal. Trygve loves people who love Wisconsin. And I think that's what he's saying.
That's a more accurate statement.
Yes. What Trygve wants is he wants a governor who's going to go around and be a cheerleader for Wisconsin and is going to do the best for Wisconsin. And I think he sees that in McCoshen. He sees it in Kelda Royce. He sees it in Sarah Rodriguez. So I think he's just very excited, like we all are, thinking, hey, we have this dearth of great candidates, great potential candidates, and we'll see what happens. So we invite everybody. And by the way, McCoshen, he didn't say no, he wasn't going to run, but he didn't say yes either. So we'll see. Sarah Rodriguez out of the gate this morning, first one in the pond. And Kelda Royce, we haven't heard, but if I was going to bet money on something, I bet she's in. But we'll see. And now Josh Call goofing around here today. Apparently he had some statement that was basically no statement. Pretty much. So, all right. By the way, it's Shark Week, ladies and gentlemen. I got done being coached today. Did not go off on tangents, and here I am going off on tangents. So, didn't take, as George Costanza once said. It's Shark Week. So, the category today: what's worse, snakes or sharks? Snakes or sharks? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Weigh in Shark Week. What's worse, snakes or sharks? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. You can also text us on the aforementioned Civic Media app. This is pretty good, Zommers, for Shark Week, don't you think?
Yeah, and we've been doing a series. They've been spread out over time, but we've been doing a series of what's worses based on, various creepy crawlies. We've had snakes, we've had spiders, but now snakes and sharks. We're going to have to evaluate this bracket, see where everything ends up.
And the graphic for this today for snakes is snakes on a plane. I once saw snakes on a plane on a plane. All right, we'll come back, discuss what's worse, snakes on a plane or Jaws, the movie. Snakes or sharks? Come on back. We're live from Green Bay on the Civic Media Radio Network.
2.7 WMD.
Heather says, Six Springs as alliteration. You love that. Maybe that'll help.
I know. Why wouldn't I?
I know.
That's what I was thinking too.
I know.
Lines and world-class golf. Dine in the #1 steakhouse in Wisconsin, Chula Vista Resort. Call 1-800-388-4782 or visit chulavistaresort.com.
Chula Vista Resort is one of the top 10 indoor water parks in the USA.
Wes in Middleton texts in, not a fan of Bill McCoshen.
I see that. I'm not saying vote for him. I'm just saying we'll talk to anybody.
West Madison small
Right.
batch ice cream
Who's actually running?
handcrafted flavors and soak up the sun on the outdoor patio. And if you mention you heard this on the radio, get 5% off. Frosties, 702 South Gammon Road.
Tons of glass artists share the same passion for eye-catching art as Ignite Glass and Gifts, so we're showcasing their work alongside our talented local artists and our in-house Ignite artists.
Pardon me, Jerry. I already did.
I'm looking forward to the E-Bombs World today. There's some good ones.
Are there? All right, very good.
Just the ones where you just read the headlines. And you're like, oh, man. By the way, we got a text. Eliza, WGBW's resident Aussie, says snakes.
I saw that.
Sharks won't bother you, but an eastern brown snake wants you dead.
Finally made his decision. He is
no
not
good at
running
all.
for a third term. Evers has had an accomplished career as a dedicated public servant for 5 decades and has been a terrific governor for the state of Wisconsin these last 6+ years, and we should be grateful for his time in office. It's been a job well done. But all things must pass. In making this decision to step aside and not seek another
That
term,
iced coffee,
Tony
the
Evers
caffeine is
doing
making
what
me
he has done
nauseous.
time and time
Oh,
again,
no,
I hate when that
doing
happens.
the right thing. And perhaps in making this decision, Governor Evers can be the one to turn the tide on the Democratic Party's
30
unwillingness to
seconds.
pass the torch
Thank you.
to the next generation.
I'm not sure I want to go into Green Bay. Don't go in the water. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We're live from our studios at Green Bay, WGBW. Of course, the iconic music of John Williams, great composer, conductor of the Steven Spielberg film Jaws. That is our What's Worse today. What's worse, sharks or snakes? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. You can also text us on the Civic Media app. What's worse, snakes or sharks? Jim, listening just down the road at Appleton via the app on WGBW. Jim says snakes are definitely worse. If you avoid the water, you can avoid sharks. Snakes are everywhere. Now, that's a great point. That might be the winner right there today, right out of the gate, Zommers, because you're not going to find a shark when you go hiking, right? I mean, that's just if you do, call me because we want to put you on the air.
When you set up for a remote show by Black River Falls, you're not going to find any sharks, but you may set up near a nest of snakes.
Indeed, we did. And by the way, the snakes at Black River Falls were lovely. They didn't bother us as we set up there next to the Black River in Black River Falls. Connie, listening in the 608 on WMDX, Connie says, I would say sharks are worse, but our waters are salt-free and no sharks. Well, again, great point. If you don't live near salt water, probably not going to... Now, what if somebody, I'm not advising this, but what if somebody got, say, a baby shark and released it in the Wisconsin River? It's not going to live, right? Because it needs salt.
I'm pretty sure it wouldn't.
But wouldn't that be something if it did?
I mean, you're right.
It'd be something. Our very own Eliza. Eliza, lovely person, one of our sales reps here at WGBW, right here in Green Bay. Eliza texted in saying, resident Aussie here says snakes. She's a lovely person from Australia originally, and she says, most snakes won't bother you, but an eastern brown snake wants you dead. Ugh. I say I would love to go to Australia, but now that I know there's the eastern brown snake.
Everything in Australia wants you dead.
Everything?
Animal-wise.
Oh, animal-wise. Not the koala. The koala doesn't want you dead, do they? But they got dingoes. They got dingoes in Australia. One of the greatest lines. I've told this on this program before. I would like to hear Eliza say this in her lovely native accent. I hired a guy, David, one time as a bartender when I was running the Tilted Kilt. And in his interview, David told me about he and a college buddy went to Australia and they rented like a VW bus and went around Australia. And they looked out, they slept in the bus, and at night they heard a commotion and they looked out the window and there were a pack of dingoes eating their food on the picnic table. They left a can of Pringles on the picnic table. And David said, "We looked out the window and the dingoes ate our Pringles." And I said that is a T-shirt right there. The dingoes ate my Pringles.
But also, just a quick thing: if you are spending time outdoors and you leave your food unsecured outside, you're asking for that.
Well, that's probably true. Snakes or sharks?
That's definitely true.
855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Tyler, listening in beautiful Wisconsin Rapids, says flying Asian shark carp with Limburger breath. Those shark carp are a thing, by the way. Also, I think this is Eliza again saying koalas are fine, but watch out for drop bears. Well, we're going to have her on and talk about that. All right, listener on WXCO in beautiful Bull Falls Radio in Wausau says, until they come up with a Sharknado movie, I will vote... What? Oh, sorry. Snake-Nado. That's right. I ruined it. Snake-Nado movie, I will vote for Sharks as the worst of the two because of the big Sharknado movie. Nicely done. Sorry, I botched the line there, listener at WXCO. All right, Fred in Cottage Grove, listening on WMDX. Fred is on the line. Fred, snakes or sharks, what's worse?
Snakes. You go to Devil's Lake, there's snakes in the rocks, but there's no sharks in the lake.
That's a great point. I love it. All right, thank you, Fred. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend down there in beautiful Cottage Grove. Doug up in Rapids as well, listening on WFHR, just simply says, land shark. I like
also,
that.
Something else, our graphic for today, as
Yes.
Todd mentioned a little while ago, for snakes, it has the movie poster for Snakes on a Plane. For sharks, it has the movie poster for Jaws. You know, something interesting, August 29th, the last Friday of that month, for the 50th anniversary, Jaws is coming back to theaters.
Wow, there you go. There you go. Be scared all. And of course, a lot of people never seen the movie because it came out so long ago. It's a whole new experience in the theater. I remember when that movie came out. It was crazy. Do we have anybody else on the
bring it
line?
up to make you feel old. No, we don't have anyone else on the line.
As if I needed anything else. I'll tell you what made me feel old, Zommers, this morning is when I tried to get out of bed after sweating my you-know-what off yesterday, and I thought, boy, howdy. I think it was the heat, though, because I'm used to lifting stuff. It was the heat and the humidity. It zaps you. That's what it does.
Oh, yeah.
What's worse, snakes or sharks? 855-752-4842. 855-752-4842. Zommers, what's worse?
I think, I will say, I like snakes and sharks. I think they're
Really?
cool. Yes. I think a lot of animals that people think are creepy, have a purpose besides like mosquitoes. Mosquitoes should all die. But I'm going to say snakes are worse for very similar reasons to some of our listeners, that snakes are pretty much everywhere. And like Eliza mentioned, there are some species of snake that do just want you dead. Whereas sharks, pretty much all sharks, unless there is something wrong with them, will leave you alone. What do you say?
Yeah, I go along with that. I would say, I'm going to say snakes are worse just because I don't swim in the ocean that much. And when I do, I don't go above my knees or my thighs. So I know they can still get you, but I'll say snakes are worse. All right, come on back. Peter Rapine is next with what's worse. With a week in review, the wild and wacky of human behavior. We're live in Green Bay on the Civic Media Radio Network. There he is, star of stage and screen, international man of mystery and love, Peter Rapine.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm well. How about you?
Doing well. It's been a couple of weeks.
Now I hear you've relocated once again. Is this true?
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver.
So now, just as I was thinking, maybe I can really get my ass to Brooklyn. Now if we want to do a show in person, I gotta go to Vancouver. Is that right?
Only if you want to do it in the next week or so. I'm gonna be back.
You'll be back in Brooklyn. So you haven't relocated permanently in Vancouver?
No. Yeah, not yet.
Whoa! Not yet. He says.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, who knows what the future holds. But yeah, I mean, good. We have a good lineup this week. Some funny ones in
one
there.
of these, there's one that has something to do with Chuck E. Cheese.
All right.
And I have downloaded that picture so that we can put it on the screen because I think people need to see it.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
It's an iconic photo.
Anything need to be edited or anything? We're no F-bombs, no shit, no all that kind of anything like that. All right.
There's a video for it, but the audio on it is whatever. But Aaron, the golf one, the fart, the audio on that's pretty good. So let's play that one too. That one and the angry lady yelling at the ducks. But yeah, what a crazy week. Did you guys talk much about the Aussie stuff? Pretty sad.
A little bit. It broke just before we came on the day that it happened. So I had my friend Phil Nee, who does a music show on Sundays or Saturdays, come on, and he interviewed not Ozzy but somebody else in his band once. So talked a little bit about that. So I threatened to start the show by biting the head off of a bat. So
nice. They didn't let you.
They said the censors, the lawyers said no. So I said, all right.
But I figure we'll just take them as they are.
Okay.
Starting with Chucky.
All right, very good.
Sounds good. I'm gonna make that picture my phone background. I think.
Peter?
It's pretty classic. Have you seen it yet, Todd?
No, I wait. Yeah, honest to God, I wait because I want the full reaction.
Yeah, I know. All of our, I think I saw a tweet yesterday. It's like, it was after the Chucky came out and then after the Hogan thing. And it's like all of our 80s icons are being taken down.
We're in Green Bay today, Peter.
Yeah, I hear you've been on the road.
I have been hitting the road a lot lately. But I like that. It's fun. It's work, but it's also fun. Because you're a man of the people that way, Peter. You're out there, you're taking people's pulse, you're listening to the vibes. You're not stuck in an ivory tower somewhere.
What are the vibes like?
People are saying they're sick of me.
Time to go home.
They're saying that. People are saying, we're just sick of hard news all the time. Like we don't want to hear about all this. It's too much. It's too mentally taxing. So people say, don't do as much hard news all the time. And so this segment's perfect.
Perfect.
And our owner, Boss Sage, still continues to mention this segment. So we're keeping the boss happy and lighthearted. So that's good.
Perfect.
I'm thinking really. Now here's what we should do. Yes, I like to do a show in Brooklyn, but we should get EPOM's World and Civic to like split a plane ticket for you, first class of course, and we should fly you into Madison and we should do a live show on campus this fall, the Peter Rapine show live on campus.
That would be fun. We should definitely.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, I'm game.
All right.
Sign me up.
All right. I'll talk to
30
CP
seconds.
and all right, here we go.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Summers. Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We are live on location in our beautiful studios in downtown Green Bay, Wisconsin. WGBW, the talk of Green Bay. That's 1590 on the old AM dial or 97.9 if you're listening to FM locally. Also catch them on the Civic Media app. Always glad to be here at Green Bay. Appreciate Mike Clemens giving us that Packers update earlier in the show. Right now, folks, it's been a couple of weeks. He is an international man of mystery and love. He also happens to be the managing editor of EPOMsWorld.com, the one, the only, you know him, you love him, Mr. Peter Rapine, ladies and gentlemen. Very good. There you go.
Thank you, Todd. You make me sound like James Bond. If only James Bond had a phone full of memes.
Now you're coming. The background looks fantastic because you're not at your home base of Brooklyn, and I appreciate you being transparent because people ask me, how is Peter doing? Because you recently found love, you traveled to Europe, and now you're in Vancouver. I'll simply say this: looking at you on the stream, joining us from Vancouver, you look like a man who's satisfied. You look very happy.
Yeah. I have fled the country. I'm on the lam. I'm not returning.
You've literally left the country.
That's only half a joke, but yes, I am. I'm in Canada. It's Canadian summer. They do things pretty well up here. It's been pretty nice.
Now, I've never been to Vancouver. I've heard it's a lovely, lovely city.
Escaping the July heat in August has been a huge benefit to my mental health.
Right?
Yeah.
It's important. It's important. Canada's a lovely. I've been to like Alberta, like Calgary and Banff. I've never been to Vancouver. But have you gotten out in the countryside or just more in the city?
Yeah, we've been up in the interior, mostly in van.
Okay.
But it's making me feel pretty good because I look at the weather in New York and I see that today it's like 95 degrees and
it's like a cooker. It's like a hot pot.
So I'm having a nice summer. Yeah.
Oh, good. Awesome. Well, people ask me because they're genuinely, people like this segment and they say, how is Peter doing? And so we like to update people. All right, Peter, as they say back home, that's not why you called. He is the managing editor of EPOM's World. And here now, Peter brings us the great staff of EPOM's World. This is not fiction. These are real headlines, real stories of the wild and the wacky Peter Rapine.
And it's been a sad week for our 80s icons.
Yes.
Obviously Ozzy, and depending on how you feel about the guy, Hulk Hogan. But another character of ours, beloved, has been taken down this week. And headline reads, Chuck E. Cheese mascot arrested for credit card fraud.
Say it ain't so. Chuck E. Cheese mascot arrested for credit card fraud, Peter.
And can you guess what state this happened in, Todd?
I have not looked at the story. I'll guess Florida.
You are correct, my friend.
Yes, absolutely.
So the short of it is a Chuck E. Cheese mascot was handcuffed inside of a Chuck E. Cheese while he was performing for a child's birthday party. He was let outside in handcuffs while wearing the suit, mask still on. And they, I guess, had been tracking him. I don't know how much credit card fraud he could have committed. Obviously, he's still working at a Chuck E. Cheese.
That's a great point, by the way.
But the photo of a police officer holding his arms, staring right into the camera as he leads Chucky out to the car is pretty iconic.
It's incredible. Go to ePalms World, everybody, epalmsworld.com, because you got to see this, as Peter just said. And as someone who was a general manager at a Tilted Kilt, a franchise like this is your nightmare if you're a GM at one of these places or a head of marketing, because, as you said, the guy's entire suit is on. So it's not that Joe Smith got arrested or whatever the guy's real name is. It literally looks like Chuck E. Cheese himself is a perpetrator here and has been let out in handcuffs.
Well, that's exactly what it is. And they say, no bad press. Right. No press is bad press.
Right.
And so I'm sure most people like myself read this and thought, oh, Chuck E. Cheese is still around. Because I didn't really know that they were still in business, to be honest.
Well, they had a big overhaul, I think, recently, like trying to redo themselves. Because they got rid of, here's what was terrible in my opinion. They got rid of the automatronic bears in the thing that played all the music, like at Disney World. And they got rid of the automatronic bears and replaced it with like video stuff. I don't know.
Well, I guess the downside of that is that, automatronics can't really commit credit card fraud like people can, but they might malfunction.
Let me ask you this, Peter. What would have been worse for the kids? Seeing their mascot, Chuck E. Cheese, let away in handcuffs, or taking off the head, and seeing him deheaded and taking the guy out in handcuffs? Which would have been more traumatic for the kids?
That's a good question. Yeah, I wonder if the cops thought about that. They're like, we could half traumatize or fully traumatize these kids.
Or if they were going to take off the guy's head, and then he's like, please, for the kids, don't expose me.
Right, for the kids.
Just do it outside, yeah.
Do we know what happened to this guy, or is he still in custody? Is it Chuck E.
Yeah,
Cheese?
he was arrested. I think they're holding him on $1,000. I think he was released on $1,000 bond.
Signature bond, yeah.
Yeah, which people were joking is like 35,000 Chuck E. Cheese tickets.
Well, I have no doubt that following our program, Maggie Dawn, who is an attorney, will be all over this, and Maggie will be breaking down exactly what Chuck E. Cheese was arrested for and what his chances look like in court. So be listening to that in the 4 o'clock hour. All right, Peter Ray Pine, next headline, ePalms World.
Next headline reads, Boomers are leaving retirement communities after realizing that living with boomers sucks.
Boomers are leaving retirement communities after realizing that living with boomers sucks. Explain.
So, and I don't know exactly when these, communities started. I don't know how old the Villages is or village-like, communities are, but I do know that the 55 plus communities have gained popularity in the last couple of years. Yes. And they seem like they have a lot of benefits, right? You have parties, you have bingo, pickleball, all that stuff. But I guess it's not a happy ending when, you're just living around a bunch of old people. All the homes look the same. There's a lot of rules and restrictions. I can speak from personal experience that my parents have been retired, and a lot of their friends have moved into communities like this. My parents refused. My dad said, he's like, I don't want to live around a bunch of old people like me.
Good for them.
They actually made the move to New York last month.
Did they really?
They are the newest New Yorkers, yeah, and they're loving it.
So
because they can go out and be around people who aren't like themselves.
Your loving parents have packed up and moved to New York, and you're off to Vancouver, for goodness sake.
I know, yeah. Yeah, bad timing.
Peter, we're here to see you. Oh, dang, bad timing.
Sorry, guys. But you can find a lot of these stories on Reddit and a lot of Facebook has communities around this stuff. Homeowner association videos are kind of red meat for us. Wherever there's someone complaining about a painting or the color of someone's house or garbage or whatever it is.
Right.
Boomers are realizing that they're not the funnest neighbors.
Well, I can relate because I'm not a boomer. I just turned 55 last year, and so I'm technically eligible to go to a senior community. But Peter, I ain't doing that. I'm not ready to hang it up yet. And so I'm Gen X, but I get it. I don't want to. Yeah, I want vibrancy, youth. That's what you want, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, pickleball isn't enough for you, Todd.
I don't play pickleball. I should though.
I never have it.
Really?
I don't know. It looks meh at best.
All right, Peter Rapine. I love this segment so much. Next headline.
All right. Man. The government is accepting Venmo payments to pay off the national debt.
The government is accepting Venmo payments to pay off the national debt. Explain, Peter Rapine.
So at pay.gov, you can go and just donate your money to the government, and they claim that they will put it towards the national deficit. And you can pay money with PayPal, you can pay money with Venmo, you can sign up using your bank account, whatever it is. And you can also obviously pay off the national debt using credit.
I mean, I just don't. People, don't do this. Because because Peter, somebody's going to say, "Well, I feel patriotic.
Yeah,
I'm going to help do this." Even if it is a real thing, it's not going to go to help the debt. I'm just telling you, it's not.
No, I mean, also, how desperate is the government?
Well, right. Let's just put it out there and say, let the people help pay down the debt.
Yeah.
There's some patriotic Americans.
I'm gonna reset a recurring donation to the government of $25 every month for the next trillion years.
I mean, the sad thing is, right, that if this were a real thing, I guess maybe it might have an effect. But having worked for a member of Congress in D.C. For 5 years, I mean, very few people are going to be serious about this, and it's just going to go to some other bureaucratic, bloated thing, or more payment for state U.S. senators or whatever.
But you know what they say? It's the thought that counts, right?
Right, exactly. That's right. Lindsey Graham needs more money for entertainment. Anyway, next headline, Peter Rapine.
All right, next headline comes to us from the front lines of the generational war. And Gen Alpha is getting old enough to participate. So headline reads, Gen Alpha no longer thinks farts are funny.
Gen Alpha no longer thinks farts are funny. Now this it helped me out because we had Gen Z and then now we had Gen Y and now this is the next youngest of the 12-year-olds or what?
I think Gen Alpha are from 2010 to 2024.
Oh, all right.
And
kids, people that were born from that to that.
Yes, people born from 2010 to 2024. And allegedly, according to one Gen Alpha mom who's talking to her 2 kids on TikTok, asking them if kids in class still think farts are funny, her kids respond by saying they see farts as just a normal thing, and they would relate laughing at a fart to laughing at something like a hiccup. And that most times when someone farts in class, they just continue on with their business. If the fart is extra smelly, they don't really make it of it. All they do is just pull their shirt up over their nose and continue on. Which I just think is a bad sign for society as a whole.
Right?
Honestly.
It's if you don't think a fart is funny once in a while, it's a bad sign. Now, do we have audio of this, Peter?
We do of her asking her kids. Yeah, maybe Zomers, you can.
All right, Zomers, here we go. Here's a mom on TikTok.
If you fart, nobody cares.
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody cares. What do they do if you fart?
This nothing. They continue doing their work or whatever they're doing normally.
I think it depends on when it happens, baby.
Why aren't farts funny anymore?
I mean, because it's like it's just like one. It's like laughing at hiccups, basically.
It's like laughing at hiccups.
You can't control them.
What about if it stinks? Do the people, if it stinks, are people like, oh, you smelled the classroom up, you stinker, you stink, you farted?
All people do is this.
Oh, they just do the mask. They're like,
All right, let's see. Now
She
you
looks
told
so
that
confused.
Yeah, you told it perfectly. Ray Pine, I'm 55. I still think a fart joke is funny. What's wrong with me?
Nothing.
Thank you, Peter Ray Pine. All right, come on back. We'll wrap it up with more weird and wacky news from EPOM's world. The wonderful, the talented Peter Ray Pine is our guest. We're live in Green Bay. We'll wrap it up after this on the Civic Media Radio Network. Kudos to that mom for calling her kids out.
Yeah.
What's wrong with kids today? I don't know.
I don't know.
Farts aren't
Maybe,
funny.
yeah, they're just too focused on their schooling.
Yeah, they're too
not
serious.
focused on schooling.
They take everything too seriously.
Yeah.
But also nothing.
But also, yeah.
All right, so we got, what, Summers, 6-ish minutes when we come back?
Yeah.
All right. These are fantastic, by the way. This is all good stuff. As always with Peter Ray Pine.
We can do, I'll do like rapid fire Trisha Paytas naming her baby Aquaman. And then Liam Gallagher says Oasis concerts are safe havens for adulterers.
Oh, really?
And then maybe we skip the duck one if you don't have time, and we can do maybe end with the fart one, or the woman attacking the guy who ran over the chicken. Your guys' call.
Well, so our choice is to end with what the
woman attacks driver who ran over chicken.
Across the road.
We can end with
I like that.
Or
I
we
like
can
that.
end with the British Open fart.
Well, that would come back. We can tie it together.
Yeah, we'll do that when we get back. Okay.
All right. We'll tie it together.
I know I already said it, but this picture is just beautiful. There's just something special about it, and the expression on the cop's face.
I know.
Well, like you said, Peter, it is. But like you said, I mean, it's such a heinous crime. They could have waited 10 minutes for them to wrap up with the kids out in the thing and say, "All right, come on back here. We got some business we got to do with you." They had to go out and arrest him in front of the kids. Come on, cops.
I know. Yeah, there was just maybe we could have talked about this, but there was a serial fart sniffer or butt sniffer who was just arrested in LA again. He was arrested in 2013, and then he was just arrested yesterday.
All right, maybe for middle of the day radio, that's a bit too much, but it's also really funny.
Yeah, he was filmed a couple years ago,
wrong with
crawling
people?
around on all fours. Like,
Now, see, that's the other extreme, right? That's the other extreme. We got people doing that crap.
I imagine we'll talk about Superman. It's the same thing I said about F1. It's a great video. The music is great. The action's great. The CGI is great.
30
I don't
seconds.
feel like they had to
All
really
right,
develop
thank
the
you.
characters. It was.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We're just now 8 minutes before the hour, 4 o'clock at the top of the hour. ABC, CBS, or James Kelly News, depending upon which of our great stations you're listening to. A check of weather with Brittany Merlot and her team. Going to be hot. How about that? Mike Clemens, a great sports reporter, going to be in with the Packers training camp update. Also, the Brew Crew underway right now against the Marlins on many of our news talk sports stations across Civic Media. And then it's Maggie Dawn of the Maggie Dawn Show every afternoon from 4 until 6. Right after us, Maggie will bring us today the latest headlines across Wisconsin, and also I'm sure the breaking legal news that Peter and I have fed her on Chuck E. Cheese. So we'll look forward in nervous anticipation to Maggie's show immediately following ours, and then Pete Schwaba, who normally, and how about this, hours normally. Schwaba does the show out of these studios in Green Bay, and now he's in Madison today. I'm in his studio, so Schwaba will be along. That's right, the old switcheroo. 6 until 8, Pete Schwaba and Nightlight. Looking forward to that. Our guest today, as he usually is every other Friday when he's not an international man of mystery, Mr. Peter Rapine, managing editor of eBombsWorld.com, with a wild and wacky look at the week and review actual headlines of actual viewers or readers. Peter Rapine, next headline.
So this is proof that farts are still funny. I want to make that point, and I'm going to drive it home with a video.
Let me interrupt. If you weren't with us right before the break, Peter had a story about a mom who was talking to her Gen Alpha kids, like these high schoolers, basically, who say that it's no longer funny if somebody farts. I don't know. It's just not funny. It's like somebody's hiccups, which, I mean, I guess fine. We've matured, but I don't know. I mean, I still think an occasional fart joke is funny, but here we go with an actual joke. All right, here we go.
Headline reads, golf commentator lets a fart rip during a live broadcast of the British Open.
A golf commentator lets a fart rip during a live broadcast of the British Open. What say you, Peter?
We'll run the clip just because it does. Right. You know, all you need to do is hear it, but they handle it in the most British way possible. They have a little bit of a snicker. But they handle it perfectly, and it's funny, and it's a fart, and you have audio of it.
Here we go for the British Open.
What are you laughing about? There's so much to say about that shot. The sound off the clock face. Oh, it's extraordinary. Let's stick to the golf. Just a little bit of wind from behind. Just helps to ease down the green. There's an echo as well. What a shot from Scheffler. And off the back of his tee shot in the 16th, that one there.
The fact that they replayed it was beautiful. The fact that they replayed it was fantastic.
Yeah, he goes, let's stick to golf. And they giggle. And then he goes, a little bit of wind from behind, which kind of works for the shot as well, because I think the wind was blowing behind Scotty Scheffler on that one.
Scotty Scheffler, I'm not sure. I think he went on to win that. But see, even in, I mean, it's just a natural occurrence. But there's nothing wrong with a little humor about it. I mean, we all do it, right? It's one of those natural things. But it is funny when it's caught on international television like that.
And way funnier than a hiccup. They're not
way funnier. Way funnier. Yeah, not at all. That was beautifully done, Rapine. All right, next headline.
So most people might not know who this person is. So I'll just set it up. Trisha Paytas is a YouTuber, podcaster, kind of media creator, and she recently had her third child. And she named that new child Aquaman.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. This is real. That's not made up. Real.
It's not made up. Yeah, it's really all I have to say about that. It's funny. It's hilarious. There is a kind of a conspiracy theory around it, because every time she has a child or announces the birth of one of her, like announces that she is pregnant, a pretty famous person has died. So the first time I think she announced she was pregnant, the Queen Elizabeth had just died on the same day. The second time she announced she was pregnant, or was near announcing something, the Pope died, and then with her newest, Ozzy died on the same day. So people think that Ozzy Osbourne has been reincarnated into her baby Aquaman, along with the Pope and the Queen. So,
oh my goodness gracious! I mean,
and
yeah.
So then the Queen's name is Malibu Barbie, and the Pope's name is Elvis.
Yeah. And Ozzy is now Aquaman. Yeah.
Who names these? I mean, who is it that named their kid Apple? All right, that's a little goofy, I think, but I mean, at least it's a fruit. But to name your kid after a character, hi, I'm Aquaman Allbaugh. I mean, talk about people. That poor child.
Yeah.
All right. Next headlines. By the way, is that a parrot behind you, or what? What does that sound? Right
It's a crow. There are so many crows.
It's a crow? There's crows in Vancouver, ladies and gentlemen.
Lots of crows. So this one is a tie into the Coldplay incident, which I'm sure you guys talked about.
A little bit, but go ahead.
Basically, a couple who weren't supposed to be a couple. They were the CEO of an AI company and the chief HR officer were caught canoodling at a Coldplay concert last week when Coldplay put them up on the kiss cam, and they both kind of bolted out of the screen because they weren't supposed to be seen together.
Right.
Well, Oasis frontman Liam Gallagher at a recent concert said Oasis is a safe haven for adulterers. Basically saying that we don't have any of that snidey camera crap here. It doesn't matter to us who you're sleeping with or mingling with. Just come to our concert and have some fun.
So adulterers, check out Oasis, right? Here's a headline we didn't have time to get to. It was great. Remembering the time an Ewok had one too many and humped Al Roker's leg on the Today Show. That's fantastic. Great work as always, Peter Rapine. You can find all these stories at ebombsworld.com. Thanks, Peter. Safe travels. Talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, Todd. Take care.
Appreciate you. Many thanks to Ahmad Rivera-Wagner, Robin Vining, Mike Clemens, Zomer is back at home, and all of you for listening. Have a great weekend back in Madison on Monday. Until then, whatever you're fighting for, whatever you are believing, keep banging your drum. We'll see you from Madison on Monday. Thanks to GBW as well. Take care.
Adios, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.